Well, for more on how the papers here in France have been reporting and reacting to that first debate, I'm joined on set by Florence Villeminot. And Florence, hello. Most papers agree here in France this Tuesday morning that this very first presidential debate was a huge success.
Well, they agree that it did what it was supposed to do. Let's take a look at the front page of Le Figaro, the conservative paper, that says that this debate launches the presidential election at last being the key word, because so far the presidential campaign has really been dragged down by various scandals that have really overshadowed real issues, and these are the real issues that were debated last night, and a lot of papers agree with this analysis. Finally, let's take a look at the front page of Libération as well, so the left-wing paper. It agrees with Le Figaro here. Finally, we're getting into the nitty-gritty here. For the first time, the five main candidates were able to confront their ideas on real issues over a 3-hour debate, so finally we're getting into the real campaign here.
But the million-dollar question, of course, is which of the five leading candidates fared best?
Well, Le Parisien has graded the candidates. This is something that they did for the primaries in the conservative and socialist primaries, and they graded the candidates according to 5 criteria, the same 5 criteria for those primaries. So precision, style, how respectful they were, the best soundbite, and combativeness. And you can see the grades here. The winner of this first round, surprising as it may be, Jean-Luc Mélenchon, so the far-left leader of the France Insoumise, the Unsubmissive France movement, he got 7 out of 10 points. He threw the best punches, and if you did see that debate, he indeed got the best zingers last night, it must be said. So who lost this debate if Jean-Luc Mélenchon won? Well, you can see tied for last place are François Fillon, 5.5 out of 10. They say that he was too sober, too solemn, and he's tied for last with Marine Le Pen, 5.5 out of 10 as well. She wasn't at the top of her game, according to Le Parisien. Now, according to Le Parisien, this was a very serious debate, a very dense debate, but it wasn't a decisive debate. No candidate really made the difference. No candidate really shone over all the others.
And despite the fact that it was quite cordial, arrows were still flying.
There certainly were some sharp exchanges. In the editorial of Le Figaro, it says that there were 2 main areas where there was confrontation, so matters of security and immigration and matters of the economy. And these 2 confrontations brought to light very different opinions on the state of France today and the state of France, well, which direction France should go in. Really, if you listen to the different candidates, it seemed like they were living in different Frances, really, and not seeing the future in the same way. And interestingly, if we take a look at Libération, they kind of agree with this picture painted by Le Figaro. What came out of this debate is really, what came out, I like their way of putting it, what came out of this arena of jabs is that France is at an intersection. They're a crossroads, if you will. Voters have before them 4 roads to take. Now, why 4 roads? There were 5 candidates debating last night. Well, interestingly, Libération puts Jean-Luc Mélenchon, so the far-left candidate, and Benoît Hamon, the socialist candidate, in the same bag, saying that they're going down the same road. So essentially, you have this I guess, fan of roads going from the far right, through the center conservative, the more centrist with Emmanuel Macron, and then the left. It will be up to voters to decide, but the good thing is, at least these 4 roads are clear.
But Florence, this Tuesday morning, not all the papers here in France were impressed by this debate.
I pulled out an article that caught my eye by Michel Chiffre. He's an editorialist for L'Opinion. You can see, he says it was a dreadful evening. The disposition of the studio had changed a bit, but the atmosphere was the same. Nervous candidates eager to be qualified for the next round. The audience impatient to know who was going to win. I grabbed my phone and selected my champion, but it didn't work. And only after several tries did I realize the TV show wasn't The Voice, a very famous singing show, so he wasn't very impressed and thought it was just a reality TV show.
There's been lots of reaction, of course, online. You've pulled out a selection of the best.
So many colorful reactions. I really could have done a whole press review on these. I pulled out, first of all, a cartoon. This is Johann Sfar. He did a whole series for the Huffington Post. He imagined the 2 former presidents, so François Hollande and Nicolas Sarkozy. He imagined them watching this debate together, drinking some wine, getting a little tipsy. I like this one. They look a little bit stressed out. Seems like they're enjoying watching this debate. Now, I pulled out another tweet. This is showing François Fillon. Now, he drew a little bit of criticism for being a little bit absent at the beginning of the debate. So you can see Super Zapper here imagined that he'd been kidnapped. And when a child is kidnapped in France, you see this alerte enlèvement, so this alert come up on screen. So it seemed like François Fillon had been kidnapped. Now, there was another tweet that was interesting showing about when they talked about the 35-hour working week. This is, of course, where there was a lot of heated debates, heated exchanges, and this Antoine Adam pulled out a cartoon. Well, this is from Asterix, a very famous scene where the whole clan starts fighting. So that was his take on the 35-hour working week. Marine Le Pen drew criticism for disappearing from the debate at this moment. She had been very strongly worded when it came to security issues, etc. But when it came to the economy, she took a step back. And you can see this tweet by Emmanuel Beretta saying, well, it seems like Marine Le Pen is saving her speech time while the others are using theirs when talking about working time. And finally, of course, the political scandals. What's interesting is the political scandals weren't really the main topic. They were alluded to a few times. You can see this cartoonist Nawak showing Mélenchon, Jean-Luc Mélenchon, throwing a jab at the candidates, talking about justice. It would be good that those in power show an example. And you can see François Fillon and Marine Le Pen looking a little bit uncomfortable during that part.
Indeed. Florence Villeminot, thank you very much for that spin through the French press the day after, of course, that first presidential debate.